Hello everyone, my name is Beth and this is my Flosstube channel, Busy Bee Stitches. Welcome to, I think this is Flosstube 28, and I'm here to talk to you about my February stitching progress, which is unfortunately really lame. I stitched about a fifth of what I did in January, and that was already kind of low for my regular stitching. As I mentioned in my last video, I've been having pain in my wrist and my thumbs and my hands, and that's not gone away. Some days it's better, some days it's worse. Today it's actually kind of bad. I have an appointment to see an orthopedist at the end of March, but until then I'm kind of just working through it and managing it. So I'm stitching where my body is able and resting when my body's not. And February didn't help in that, like, I was crazy busy in February. So there were some days where, like, my hands would have allowed me to stitch that I wasn't able to for some other reason. But it's okay. Giving myself grace, and also doing my best to prioritize stitching when I'm able to do it so that it's making me feel good, because I really, really love stitching. So yeah, I stitched about 2,881 stitches in February. I stitched like 10,000 stitches in January. So yeah, that's just sad. It's just sad to me. All right, and before I get into showing you the stitching that I worked on, I just have a few other things that I want to talk about. First thing is that I did film a video of me going through my stitchy journal and updating my stitching spreadsheet for January, and I just haven't had a chance to edit it and upload it. So I'm hoping to do that in the next week or so that you can see how I do that. And it was very funny because I'm not perfect at it. I'm figuring out my own system too. So you're gonna see that in the video, and I'm gonna leave it all in and be honest with you guys about how I do it. And then I've also got a stash dive video that I'm gonna be filming in the next couple of days. As I mentioned in my last video, that is going to be Harry Potter charts and Wizard of Oz charts. That's coming up in the next stash dive, so keep your eyes out for that. And before we get too much further into this video, I just need to thank y'all for the support that I got in my last video, because I just had so much fun reading all the comments. Thank you so much to everyone who commented and who entered the giveaway. I had over 100 people enter my giveaway, so I am so excited to give some stuff away now. All right, so starting with the floss winders that I was giving away. I have a 12-inch floss winder to give away that is between these two sizes. This is 9-inch and this is 18-inch. And so the winner of the 12-inch floss winder is Allison Norris. So here's what I want you to do. Please go to my Instagram. That is at busybeesillyme. I'll put it on the screen. I'll also link it below in the description, and send me a DM with your address, so that I can get these ordered through Stacy Stitches and sent off to you. And for all of my giveaway winners, please, if you are able to respond to me within the week, that would be awesome. After about a week, I'm gonna start to get a little antsy and maybe consider picking a new winner. If we get all the way to my next video, and I haven't heard from you, I'll definitely be picking a new winner, but I have a feeling it'll be happening sooner than that. So please respond to me in a week if you can. All right, so Allison Norris was the winner of the 12-inch floss winder. Then I was also giving away a floss winder of size of your choice, and the winner for that is Carla Makowitz. Hopefully I'm saying your name right. So Carla, please go on Instagram and send me your address. Next, and I know some floss tubers like pepper these throughout their video. I'm just gonna do them all at once. Next, I was giving away these floss hugs from Sarcy Girl. I absolutely love these. And the winner of the floss hugs is Ms. Laura Judd. Ms. Laura Judd. So please go on Instagram and send me your address so I can get these sent to you. Now, I know that Sarcy Girl was posting on her Instagram about having some trouble with shipping to the US. So Ms. Laura Judd, if you are in the US, I will do my absolute best to work it out with Sarcy Girl's process to, if I need to pay some extra shipping or whatever it is, I will do that to get these to you because I promised US shipping for these. And if you're in Canada, that just makes it easier for me. But I just wanted to mention it just in case there's like something totally out of my control and it doesn't work out. But I think the solution was just gonna be paying a little bit of extra shipping to the US and it should be okay. Next, the winner of this gorgeous watercolor tiger zipper pouch from Denise Soden. The winner of this is Jordan Ginter. So Jordan, please send me your address on Instagram and I will make sure to get this ordered for you. Next, I have a t-shirt from Stitching Goddess Designs. This is a t-shirt of your choice from Athena's shop. And the winner of this is Gail Maltese. So Gail, if you could please DM me on Instagram, and actually with Athena, I'm going to put you directly in contact with her, but please just DM me on Instagram so that we can get connected and get that process started. And finally, my last giveaway is I have 2 sleeves, not these ones exactly. I have 2 sleeves from Love You More Studio to give away. And I said in my last video, one of them is gonna be a choose your own size. The other one, I'm not sure. I still haven't asked them. So please, if you win these, please send me what your preference is, but know that like I may not be able to honor that. So the winners of these are Teresa Chuckle and Julie JCJ Nitochet. So Teresa Chuckle and Julie JCJ Nitochet. So please message me on Instagram, both of you, and let me know what your address is, and then I'll chat with you about what sleeves you would like and figure all of that out. So that was all my giveaway. Thank you so much again, and I am so excited to start ordering those and sending out your prizes because this makes me so happy. And sort of on this line of thinking, because I'm doing all these giveaways for small businesses of friends of mine, and businesses that I truly believe in. I want to just do a quick shout out to people who own small businesses, because when somebody starts a small business, they're usually starting a business because they are passionate about the thing that their business is offering. But there's so much more that comes with owning a small business. There's like the technical support and the like social media and marketing and, you know, the packing and shipping and the all the stuff. And for most people, like that, none of that is their passion, but they do it anyway with so much care and love and kindness. And I thank you so much for putting in that effort and doing that. I have just had some really, really stellar customer service experiences with small businesses lately, and I am just consistently blown away with how much effort they put into like the whole of their business. And I just want to say that I see you and I thank you and you're amazing. In particular, I want to shout out Hello Bargello. I mentioned in my last video that I ordered a couple of kits from them and that I also joined their subscription box. And the first box in the subscription box shipped, and it was delivered to my porch and then stolen from my porch. Along with like 5 or 6 other packages, which was heartbreaking. But I contacted her and she was so sweet, and she is allowing me to purchase another box at a discount, even though it wasn't even remotely her fault. The box arrived to me. She did everything she possibly could. But she didn't want me to go without a box, and it was just so sweet. So I wanted to shout her out and let y'all know that if you want to order from her, you are just gonna have a great experience. All right, I think we're ready to jump into some cross stitch now. So let's start with finishes because I have a finish. Okay, so this was actually a start and a finish. I don't think I had quite started this when I filmed my last video. So this is Marriage by My Big Toe, and I stitched this as a gift for a friend of mine who is getting married at the end of March, and so I need to take this off to the framer like tomorrow, so that they have enough time to get it framed before I need to leave for her wedding. But I did get it done in time. This got the majority of my stitching in February because I needed to get it done to get it framed. So I stitched this on just a piece of 40 count white Verdal. And I gotta say, really, really enjoying stitching on Verdal. Really fun. It's basically just an even weave 40 count. So this is what my finish looks like. Oh God. There it is, all done. So I did a color conversion. It's probably getting a little bit washed out in the light. That's another thing I'm excited about for spring, is that I'll be able to film with some daylight again. So what did I want to say about this? Yes, so I did my own color conversion. So I was super sneaky with my friend and got her to share with me what her wedding color palette is. And I picked out flosses that match her color palette. So what I ended up going with was, for the darker green, I used Color & Cotton Pine Tree. For the lighter green, I used Classic Colorworks Poblano Pepper. Then for the mauve-y color, I used Gentle Art Sweet Pea. For the light blue, I used Color & Cotton Everest. And for the neutral color, I used Color & Cotton Pale Ochre. So that was my color palette for this project, and I loved stitching this project. It went so fast on the 40 count, and stitching 1 stitch wide letters goes so fast. And it made me feel like I was making progress every day, because I could, see strong progress even if I'm only able to do a couple letters in a day. So when my wrist was really bothering me, it's really my wrist, my thumbs, my hand, the whole thing. But when my hands were bothering me, I could do just a little bit and still feel like I accomplished something. So this project was really fun for me to stitch on this month. And I also, the other change I made was I charted their initials in more of a monogram instead of the called for is like, both of their double initials with a little plus. But they're technically already married because of the pandemic. They had to push their big ceremony. So I just wanted to have their shared last name in there. So that's what I decided to do. So that's what I got for finishes. That was also a start. So let's move on to whips. The whips I have to show you are real lame today. But that's okay. So I worked on Gathering Berries by Luminous Fiber Arts, and this was on my like extra whip go that I have. And my extra whip go is very much secondary to my main whip go goals. But it's a way for me to just make sure I'm pulling out a project at least once this year to make some progress on it. So Gathering Berries is what I pulled for that. I also stitched on this a little bit for the stitching the Winter Olympics. I think that's what made me pull it out when I did, but I didn't make it very far through stitching the Winter Olympics because I spent an entire week of the Winter Olympics just not being able to stitch at all, which was a bummer. So this is what you've seen before with more progress. Sorry, it goes this way. With a little more progress filled in. So this is on a piece of 40 count Birch Newcastle using the called for Classic Colorworks Belsois silk, which I'm absolutely in love with. It's so much fun to stitch with. However, the more I stitched this, the more I just was not happy with it. And you probably aren't even going to be able to tell on camera. It's probably one of those things, like if I hold it up really close, you can see, I was not liking the coverage of one strand on 40 count with this project. Like being a project that has like a lot of fill-in, I felt like the fill-in needed to be a little bit higher coverage than what's showing here. And I've had so many friends, as I was like debating what to do, tell me like, just hold it 3 feet away and then it'll look fine. Don't worry, keep going. But even if I hold it away, I don't like it. It's just, I can still see the fabric through the stitching, and it's just, it wasn't really working for me. The other thing was that stitching it on 40 count, I realized I'd have to swap out for smaller buttons, which it's not like it's that hard, but it's just another thing that I have to do. And the final thing is I wasn't super in love with how yellow this fabric is for this project. It just wasn't, I don't know. I had enough things on this project that wasn't exciting me that I felt like it needed a restart. So I pulled out a piece of fabric that I had in my stash, and I just like decided I was gonna stitch a few stitches on it and see if I was liking it better. And I'm liking it so much better, so much better. So this is my restart. And you can see the coverage is so much better. And so this is 2 strands on 32 count. Picture this plus vellum. This is a Lugana. And I had an enormous piece of this. And so I cut some off, and I'm absolutely loving the fabric color. So much better than this. Oh God, dropping floss. Let me show the comparison here. So here's the comparison. I can't see. There we go. So I don't know if you can see on camera how much better the coverage is, but I'm loving the fabric color much better with the lighter color. The 2 strands is a little more annoying to stitch with because I'm not loop starting, but I like when I don't know, when I stitch with 2 strands, I just so much prefer to loop start. But it's worth it. It's worth it for the coverage. And I think the size is gonna be cuter too. I feel like being slightly bigger is just gonna make this a little cuter. So that's gathering berries. So I made it, obviously I stitched on different stuff. You can see on the restart, I went around and completed the border. And I did that just because like it'll make the counting a lot easier. And I could also stitch on that and like kind of turn my brain off, which I really appreciated. But in stitch count, I've approximately made it back to where I stopped on the old version. So it kind of feels like I've netted 0 on this project, but I made some big decisions and now I feel really good about where this project is sitting. All right, and the only other project that I worked on this month is Cozy Feet by Mill Hill. This is what it will look like. Now, my WIPCO goal for this project was to finish it. And for some reason I thought it was a lot smaller or that I was further along. I don't know what I thought. Why did I think that was a good WIPCO goal? Because this is the size of the project. No. There's no way that I finish this year. There's just no way. So already I feel a little bit defeated with that WIPCO goal. But it'll be a stretch goal, I guess. It's off in the corner, so that's extra annoying because it could be used for like a lot of different bingos. But that's where we are. Additionally, this project is also gonna need a restart. It's frustrating. It's really frustrating. So literally all I worked on this month was this like lighter brown color. Is like, I don't know, 90 stitches total. That's it. I brought this traveling with me and I thought, oh, you know, it's all self-contained into a kit. Like this will be easy to travel with. But it turns out that for some reason, stitching on the perforated paper is so much harder on my hands than stitching with fabric. It's not at all what I expected. I thought the holes are big, that like this would be easy, but it takes so much more grasping strength to pull the needle through once you start like having thread already in a hole. And there's like, I'm not used to stitching in hand and I have to stitch this in hand. And so I think that's also part of it. Even though, you know, it's stiffer than fabric, I still have to hold it really differently than I hold fabric, or than I hold a frame, and I definitely can't use a stand. So what I've decided is that I'm not gonna like never do a Mill Hill kit again on perforated paper. I think these smaller projects I still really like doing on the perforated paper, but I just don't really see a point in doing a project this size on perforated paper. This is really big, and I could just very easily do this on fabric. And like, I'm not gonna be finishing this in an ornament. That's where the perforated paper is helpful, is because, you know, you can just finish it into an ornament and it's already really stiff and you can just, you know, put some felt on the back and you're done. But since this is way too big for that anyway, I'm gonna restart this on fabric. I know that was really long-winded, but that's the plan, is I'm gonna restart this on fabric. And I have so little done on this that I don't feel bad about the restart. I do a little bit feel bad about how far away from finished goal that I am now on this, but that's okay. So I will probably find, I think the perforated paper is 14 count. So I think I will probably find a piece of 14 count Aida to substitute for the perforated paper. Maybe I'll find some 28 count Lugana, not sure yet. but probably some Aida. So that's the plan. If you've ever stitched a Mill Hill kit on fabric and you have any suggestions for me or things that I should know ahead of time, please let me know. I would appreciate it. So this has become very much back burner because I might have some fabric that I would like to use on this, but I don't have anything like immediately picked out, and I already feel like this goal is kind of unattainable. So I am just gonna put this away for a bit, and maybe if I smash through a bunch of other goals one month, that I'll pull that back out and revisit it to try and make some progress. So those were all my whips. Really, really lame progress, honestly. But I have a bunch of stuff to talk about in haul and plans, so let's do that. So I only have one piece of physical haul to show you. I bought some more Love You More sleeves because I can't control myself. They come out with sleeves like every week on Friday, and so sometimes they just get me, you know? So I got this one with animals doing astronomy because, come on, are you serious? Stunning, stunning sleeve. And it's got planets on the inside. I can't get over how pretty this is. This is a full size, or yeah, full size. Yes. And then I got also in a full size, I got this really brightly colored, springy looking sleeve with embroidery scissors all over it. And this is just like happiness on a fabric. That's just like so cheerful. So, oh, and the inside of this is this lovely lavender polka dot. Big fan of that. So, I also got, not for me, but I got a sleeve for my fiance. He is big into chess. He plays a ton of chess. And so Love You More came out with a chess sleeve recently, so I grabbed one of those for him and gave it to him as an early birthday present. And he's, you know, actually using it for a book. I have a couple of these I use for books also. So he's using a book sleeve for a book, and he put this like massive, like, I don't know, maybe this thick book into one of these full-size sleeves. And yeah, it is like, you know, big puckered, but it fit. It fit, and it's protecting his book on his super long flight that he just went on. So that was a big win. He was very, very excited. All right, the rest of my haul is patterns. And I know I just said in my last video that I wasn't gonna talk about new pattern stash because I'm doing my Stash Dives series. So I didn't wanna be talking about everything twice. However, there are some current events, relevant things that I've gotten recently that I wanted to share with you in case you are looking for some inspiration in these areas. So I'll talk about Aya Rosen. She is a relatively new designer, and she is making patterns for all of the Jewish holidays, which I just think is so cool, and her patterns are beautiful. She has made them available on Gumroad, which is like a pay what you think it's worth site. So you like could get it for free, but I give her a little donation for the patterns that I get from her. And just because like I just think this is such a clever idea, and she definitely deserves to be compensated for her work. So she's done two so far. She's done a one for Purim and one for Passover. So I'll put those both on the screen. And the one for Purim, which I never know if I'm saying that right. I have different friends who say it different ways, so I don't know. But anyway, Purim is like the Jewish Halloween, almost. Obviously it's not exactly the same, but there's lots of like dressing up and indulging for Purim. So the like moth is supposed to be like a masquerade mask, which I think is so cool. And there's also the different versions of these patterns. So if you don't want to stitch something for a Jewish holiday, but you like these patterns, she has versions that say other things or don't have words or something, so that you can stitch the version that you like the best. And then for the Passover one, this one is representing freedom, which is very much the theme of Passover. And this is my favorite one, the Passover one for sure. I love it and I cannot wait to stitch it. Aya Rosen also released a pattern for supporting Ukraine, which is what the rest of my haul is going to be about. We all know that the situation in Ukraine right now is really scary, and it's really easy to feel like just completely helpless and that there's nothing you can do to help. And so we've got designers in our community who are making some really awesome things that I want to share with you. So in the category of like supporting Ukraine designs, so Aya Rosen made this one of a dove for peace, and she specifically on her Gumroad asked you not to pay for it, and instead to donate to a cause that she suggests, which I did. And so I really like this one, and she said that it goes really fast because it's just 2 colors. And then from One Point Mind, this one has been all over Instagram. I'm not going to show like every Ukraine support design that exists. I'm just going to show the ones that I was drawn to and that I've downloaded. So from One Point Mind, they released a pattern called Ukraine Solidarity, and this is a really cool designer. They are very focused on stitching with intention and mindfulness. So this pattern is asking you with every stitch to be contemplative. And there's way more information in the pattern itself, and it explains it way better than I can. But I will link it down below in my description. This is an absolutely beautiful pattern, and I really, really want to stitch this one. And then the last one that I really, really loved and downloaded immediately was from Modern Folk Embroidery, and this is the Ukrainian word for peace. I think peace. If it's not peace, I'll put it on the screen. And I think this is an absolutely beautiful pattern. So those are the ones that I got from the category of of charts available to stitch to just share your support for Ukraine. And I really like all of them. There's like so many more on Instagram that I just could never get to stitching all of them. But then I also did a bunch of searching for patterns designed by Ukrainian designers or sold by Ukrainian shops. Something that we can do as cross stitchers is buy PDF designs. So I went a little ham doing that, supporting as many designers as I could find things that I wanted to stitch. So I kind of threw my goal out the window for this year of trying to like not buy things that I don't need. And I was just like, you know what? It doesn't matter because this is supporting real people who need it, and I'm getting cross stitch designs out of it. So yeah, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna share with you some of the shops that I supported and what I got, so that if it inspires you, you can go out and support some of these designers too. So from the shop Mika, I got this raven, which is so interesting. I've kind of never seen anything like this. I love the sketchy design of it. Very cool. Then from S.A. Stitch, I got the squirrel and this rabbit. I just think they're super cute with their little sweaters. The foxes on the rabbit sweater are just so cute. So I had my eyes on these for a while. I'd actually seen these before and they were in my favorites already, so they just went right into my cart. And then of course, while I was exploring their shop, I also found, oh god, the hiccups. I feel like I get the hiccups in every video. What is wrong with me? So while I was perusing S.A. Stitch, I also found this one, Owl in Hyacinths is what it's called. And this is so right up my alley. Look at this beautiful owl. Oh, I love it so much. So I got those 3 patterns from S.A. Stitch. All of the shops that I shopped with, I will put in the description below so you can just link straight to Etsy. Next, I feel like the one that the stitching community has been most familiar with for like the longest time, or maybe it's just me, maybe it's just like the stuff that I've been tuned into. But I ordered from Maria Bravko. I believe her shop is Cute Patterns by Maria. So I actually already had a couple of patterns by Maria Bravko. I have these 2 autumn themed patterns by her. And actually the tea one with the flowers coming out of the teapot, that one is available on her Facebook group for free. But you know, if you want to be supporting her financially, which right now I think you should, the other autumn pattern is on her Etsy, and she has she has all 4 seasons in this style, and I think they're all beautiful, but I just have the autumn one. And then I also added to my stash of Maria Bravko charts. I got this very adorable red panda. This has been a favorite of mine for a long time, so I finally went ahead and grabbed that one. And then I got Ginger Autumn, which I also had favorited for a while and went ahead and added to my cart. And finally, I got from Maria Bravko a cup of mulled wine, and I'm a sucker for this Eastern European style of like cups that are in a fancy display of some kind. Like, I don't know why this is such a big theme in this style of chart, but I'm a big sucker for it. And just like warm fall and winter drinks make me so happy. And so obviously I had to buy this chart. Next, by Cassinia Cross Stitch, I got these 2 bookmarks, floral bookmarks, and she has examples of what they look like on different background colors, but I really like them on a black or a navy. That's my plan. And those will be fun, like little quick stitches, I think. Which, you know, you always gotta have some of those. Because the other thing that I got from that shop is something that is not small or simple. I got this full coverage lake house. This is something that I also have had favorited for a while and decided to just use the excuse to go ahead and grab it. I don't know if this is going to end up being compatible with Pattern Keeper or not. It'll bum me out a little bit if it's not, but I haven't tried yet, so I don't know. But yeah, I've had my eye on this pattern for a while, and I just decided that I couldn't live without it anymore. And then from Nonstop Stitch, which is a shop that sells designs by lots of different designers. They have permission to sell from all those designers. So I don't know if every designer in their shop is Ukrainian, but the owner of Nonstop Stitch is Ukrainian. So I wanted to support them and whatever, you know, cut they get from selling these charts, I wanted to make sure they get. And I wasn't able to find these patterns in other shops. They might be available other places, but I wasn't able to find them. So I got these blue and green budgies, which are so, so cute. And then I also got this chart called Cozy Autumn, which is again, you know, this cup of hot beverage in a cute scene. So, I mean, of course, yes, please, I would like it. And then from Embroidery Art by Nat, so now we're a little bit outside of my cross stitch comfort zone, but I've been collecting a few embroidery patterns here and there with the hope that someday I will build up the courage to give one a shot. And Embroidery Art by Nat has a lot of tutorials available, and she also has a free like stitch sampler for learning how to do some of the embroidery stitches that she uses in her designs. So I was really excited to support her shop and to use it as an excuse to learn how to do some embroidery. So I got Sunflower Bouquet, which I loved, you know, just because I think it's really beautiful. But also sunflowers are the national flower of Ukraine, so I thought it was extra meaningful to get this one. And I'm really looking forward to it. It's marked as a beginner kit, and it looks pretty doable. It looks like maybe the hardest part are the French knots inside the middle of the sunflower, but honestly, I feel like French knots in embroidery aren't as scary as French knots in cross stitch, because you're not like exactly going through the same hole as you are when you're cross stitching. So I'm hoping that they won't be as intimidating as they are for cross stitch. And then sort of along those lines, I also bought from Heartswell Stitch. I got this sunflower embroidery kit. This is I should have included this in the other category, because this is not a Ukrainian shop, but the proceeds from this kit are going to support an organization that I'm gonna put on the screen because I don't remember, supporting Ukraine. But this is a shop from Oregon, so that's why I got a physical item. And I don't have that yet. It has shipped, but I don't have it yet. But this kit looks like it's very simple. I have a feeling you have to punch your own holes. I think it's like with the design drawn and then you punch your own holes into the cardstock or whatever, and then you embroider it. I think that's how it works. But this seemed very simple and very doable. So I went ahead and got that also, because again, can't say no to a sunflower for more than one reason. And then also a couple of other shops that I have purchased from before. It wasn't like in the last week that I bought from them, but I wanted to show them to you anyway because they have some awesome stuff. So if you're looking for inspiration, you should know about it. So Stitchy Princess, that's been a really big name in our community over the last few weeks because she has been very vocal on Instagram about what's happening, and she's been vocal in English so that you know, those of us who don't speak Russian and Ukrainian can keep up with what's going on. And she had been posting even before things sort of came to a head with the violence in Ukraine. And so she has been leading a sale, which is fantastic, and offering sales on her Etsy. So everybody should go support her. I think she also just got COVID, which is just horrible. So I bought Snails and Leaves. I bought this a couple of weeks ago to support her. But she has some really, really beautiful charts. And I've had a few of hers in my favorites for a while. And then the last shop that I want to shout out is Living on a Rainbow. I have a whip from them going already. That is my Santa's post office 3D ornament. And the owner of this shop is just fantastic. When I first got that chart, I was really intimidated by the like finishing and extra details on this chart, and I was messaging her about it through Etsy or Instagram, and she was super encouraging and offering suggestions and help, and so I highly recommend buying from her shop. She has a bunch of these really cute little like shop 3D ornaments, and some other ornament styles also, tons and tons of Christmas patterns. So I highly encourage you to check out her shop as well. Okay, so that was all the Ukraine stuff that I got. It was a lot, but I don't regret it. I don't regret it at all. So yeah, let's move on and talk about plans, because goodness knows I'm not stitching all of those things right now. So before we get into what I am gonna work on, I want to talk about FOMO for a second. Both like the fear of missing out, but also the like knowing you're missing out. Because whether it's a small thing like, oh, everyone is stitching this chart that I want to stitch right now, or everyone's participating in this stitchy challenge that I want to do, or I feel like so many people that I know are going to this retreat that I'm not signed up for. I've just been really encountering those things a lot in the last month or two. And it's really hard. I just have an insanely busy year. And so I know that I can't say yes to everything. I can't say yes to everything that I want to do. And I'm gonna have to learn to be okay with that. We all have to pick and choose what is gonna be most valuable for us to spend our time on. And there's just no way that we could participate in everything. It's just not possible. So I've been working really hard mentally to release myself of that burden and to remind myself that it's okay that I don't have to stitch on everything all the time, and I don't have to participate in every single challenge that seems cool, and I don't have to go to every retreat in order to like be accepted by the community and feel included. That it's gonna be okay. So in February, I had some things that I was considering stitching to celebrate Black History Month, and I didn't get to any of them. March is Stitch Asia, and I have one whip and several things in my stash that I would love to be stitching for Stitch Asia, and I have a feeling I'm not gonna get to any of them in March. Everybody is doing the like stitching bracket fun right now, with, you know, Steel City Stitchers, and there's a bracket in the Black Needle Society journal, and people are just going bracket wild and having a great time. And I have decided I'm not going to participate in that in March because it's just too much right now. And then, you know, there was all sorts of nonsense happening with bills related to LGBT kids in school that I have a lot of strong feelings about. And I have some really fantastic pride patterns that both in my whip pile and in my stash that I would love to be stitching right now to just sort of mindfully stitch to support those causes. And I don't think I'm going to get to any of those either. And then, you know, this past month I watched people go to the Steel City Stitchers retreat, and I felt super jealous of that. I watched people signing up for the Black Needle Society retreat, the retreat in May, August, I forget, over the summer. And I'm not able to attend that. And so I was feeling super jealous about that. And so yeah, I've just like been really fighting the FOMO lately. And I need to remind myself that it's going to be okay. And that I'm going to feel fulfillment by stitching the things that I've decided that I'm going to work on, going toward the goals that I set for myself, and that, you know, stitching honestly the wild amount that I stitched last year is not reasonable for me this year, and I can't expect that of myself. And that retreats are always gonna happen without me, and that doesn't mean that, you know, I'm not gonna ever make any stitchy friends or have any stitchy fun. So, and I'm at least, I am planning to go to StitchCon this year, and I'm planning to go to Galleria this year. So it's not like I'm not gonna have any stitchy fun. I just, you know, can't do all of it. So what am I going to work on? I would really like to stitch one of the patterns that I got to support Ukraine. Not that I think that those patterns will not draw me to stitch later, but I just am feeling very much like I would like to be stitching one of those right now. And so I would like to add one of them into my plans for March. I'm deciding between the 1 Point Mind Ukraine Solidarity piece and the Modern Folk Embroidery piece. I'm leaning toward the Modern Folk Embroidery piece, but I also already have a Modern Folk Embroidery going, so I am gonna make a game time decision on that. Then my main focus for March is going to be working on my chessboard by Peppermint Purple. I don't have it in front of me to show, but I showed it in my last video. If you want to see my progress on it, I can say it out loud because my fiance is not in the house right now. So I don't have to worry about him overhearing. But so he is away for work, which means that I can stitch on that project at any time, because he's not here and he's not gonna walk in and see it. So, and he's gonna be gone for quite a bit of time. So I have like over a week of time that I can work on this project without fear of him seeing it. So I'm gonna take advantage of that. And as I've talked about with this project in particular, I don't want to burn out on it. So, and you know, my hands have not been super forgiving lately. So I am going to stitch on it as much as I feel like I can and want to, while he's gone. And this weekend I have some plans to use my timer strategy that I really like to do, where I set a timer and I do some like around the house projects, and then when my timer goes off I go and stitch, and I set a timer for stitching, and then I stitch for a certain period of time and I switch off, and I get a lot of progress both on my housework and my stitching that way. And so I have a bunch of stuff I need to do around the house this weekend and a bunch of stitching that I want to get done, and switching off like that will also give my hands a break, so I'm not, you know, stitching for too long a time consecutively. So that's my plan for this weekend. So I'm excited to see how far I get. Like maybe I'll get a whole row of blocks. That would be the dream, but you know, we're gonna measure our expectations. The other thing that I'm focusing on in March is WIPGO. That is my main goal driver for this year, and I'm trying to keep myself focused on my WIPGO goals. In March, as you noticed, I really didn't make great progress on my WIPGO goals because of all the reasons that I've already talked about. But I made I made like 90 stitches of progress on Cozy Feet. And my other, sorry, I'm pulling up my WipGo board on my phone so that I can look at it while I'm talking to you. My other WipGo pull for February was Harry Potter covers. I'm doing the unattributed version by Fox and Teacup. And that one saw no attention at all in February. So at the very least, since Cozy Feet is going to the back burner, I would like to do that page finish on covers. And it's not very much stitching. It's there, the page is at least 2/3 done already. So I'd like to work on that. And then the other two WipGo goals that now I have for March are 100 Owls and Carrot Forest. And both of those projects are on my WipGo board a lot of times. 100 Owls is on there 3 times and Carrot Forest is on there 5 times. So I think, no, 4 times. So I don't want to like delay those, delay stitching on them so that, you know, then I have all of my stitching for Carrot Forest all in a row that I have to do all at once. So I'm gonna do my best to make some progress on at least some of those projects in March. Again, I don't know what to expect with my availability and with my hands and how much I'm going to be able to do. And then on my extra WipGo board, this one, they're already stretch goals, so I'm not super stressed about these, but these are also goals where I just have to take it out and touch it. So if there's, you know, if I'm looking for just bringing something out for a day or two, I may lean toward one of these. So I still have Good Trouble that was pulled last month. And then this month I pulled Half the Fun and Blackbird by Sapphire Mountain Handcrafts. So that's what my WipGo boards look like right now. What else? I do have one other goal for March that may infringe a little bit on WipGo, is that I have another wedding coming up that I would really like to stitch for. I don't know why I've decided that like the busiest year of my life I'm gonna stitch a bunch of gifts throughout the year, but I really enjoyed stitching the My Big Toe Designs gift for my friend, and I have another wedding coming up at the end of May that is a very close friend of mine, and so I would really like to stitch something for them. I haven't officially decided what I'm gonna stitch, but I think what I'm gonna do is this pattern. It's called Sunset on Mountains by the Pigeon Coop. I love the Pigeon Coop. They're such a fantastic designer. And this chart has caught my eye for quite a while. And it's not overtly a wedding chart, but the people that I'm stitching it for, like, a wedding sampler is not going to be for them. And they're very outdoorsy people. They love to ski. And so I thought this pattern would be a really fun and unique wedding gift for them. And so I'm probably going to add some words to the bottom, like maybe "Adventure awaits" or something. If you have a suggestion for what I could say there, please put it in the comments below, because I haven't decided. And then I'll probably put their names or initials and their wedding date. So that pattern is not very big, but you know, it doesn't have to be big to detract from my other goals, and already I'm feeling like there's so many other things that I want to be working on that I'm not getting to. So if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen, but it's something that I'm really hoping to be able to do. And I have 2 months to stitch this, so I stitched the other one in a month, but this one I have 2 months before, and I'm giving myself like a month to take it to the framer so they have enough time to deal with it. So that's my plans. Wow, so for a video that I only had like 3 projects to show you, I ended up having quite a bit to say apparently. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, spending time with me, and looking at what I have going on in my stitching world. And I will see you in my next Flosstube video or my next stash dive or whatever you come back for. I'm getting a phone call, so I guess that means it's time to go. Bye, everybody.